Ryan.
Mikey.
Kyle.
And Steven! Welcome back, everybody, to Elemental Evils, the Mole Master campaign, The Odd Jobs. So, number 11, it's at Fort Dalton, Part 3, with our adventurers from Mole Master. The party finally found the source of strange weather in this kind of weather. Mike, I don't know if I said it on stream. Conjuration magic. My mistake on that one.
What?
The that you saw from the pole leading towards the
Okay.
bathhouse was conjuration, not transmutation. That was
Okay.
my mistake. I know, changes everything. Coming after that, my mistake. Anyways, after going to the ruins of this Lyrian bathhouse, the party came upon the scene of a strange cult ritual. Humans into these of somewhere between life and death, allowing this kind of surge of evil water to form these moons of sorts into servants of a deity called Alahydra, is what you meant. The party, of course, not letting cultists do whatever they want, sprung into action. It started off relatively looking good, with Jasper cleaving through some of the cultists on the back of this large pool. The party making great headway until a singular monk said, "All right, I want to jump down into the pool," and rolled a critical fail. As we watched our favorite vomit comet, Rory, jump from the top of this pool straight into this raging maelstrom and disappeared from sight from the party. Um, as the party continued to fight against these cultists, with Jove making a beeline straight into the center of the maelstrom to follow after Rory, our bard and our fighter rogue, our Frog, cleaned up the remaining cultists, forcing the spellcaster who seemed to be leading this ritual down into the maelstrom, before finally taking on what was originally a held captive, was in the process of being turned into this abomination. And while not fully formed, the bard and the fighter Frog took care of this final half transformed humanoid abomination, which is almost trapped in its own flesh, pulled it out of the water to stop it from reconstituting itself, and finally put down this unfortunate individual for the final time. Whilst the bard and the frog were cleaning up upstairs, Rory found himself in a large cavern with a waterfall that falls upwards instead of down, and this perfectly spear floating thing of water, along with lots of goblets. It's almost like water itself refused to listen to the laws of gravity whilst in this area. There, Rory came in contact with a woman called Shelvasa, a green-skinned elven woman, almost kind of a perverse twisting of the water elves the party had met the session before, who had a blue-skinned, young-looking elven male bound to her side in front of this perfectly smooth spear of heads. Rory and this individual engaged in some dialogue during this fight, and Rory persuaded and agreed to take the prince, Ulatha, from this place and to leave Shelvasa and her ilk alone. Jove hopped on down very nearly at the same time as the spellcaster above leading the ritual. Saw this, didn't sit right. Rory gave the nod, Jove gave the nod, and spears or javelins were thrown. A second combat began whilst the one above the maelstrom was still raging. It didn't look like a hard fight until, like a bubble popping behind Jove, a large monstrosity, a marrow, now that we're past it, appeared to right behind Jove, opening up with a devastating critical, dropping Jove unconscious. And with Rory just barely making the save, the tides of that fight seemed to be going sour. The rest of the party joined into the combat, with the party fighting against two spellcasters and a marrow. seemingly evenly matched until Shelvasa pulled a sleet storm, stopping the party from moving as quickly as they would like, stopping vision, causing people to fall prone, making it difficult terrain. The party was able to regroup in kind of the ladder leading out of this tunnel with their backs up against the wall. But instead of just allowing the party to escape, Shelvasa and her group stopped concentrating on the sleet storm, and a second half of this fight began. It was looking very bad for the party, as Shelvasa was able to strike the prince and knock him unconscious, him dropping from the ladder leading out of there, with Jove being able to break his fall, saving him from immediate failure in death saving throws. It became a very messy fight, with it looking very, very realistically that half the party was going to perish in this cavern. Seeing the writing on the wall with a monstrosity and two spellcasters still on their feet, Jasper removed her mask, revealing herself to be Lapis Lap, the sister of our very own Freddie Lap, and the current daughter to the Goss estates. She said a final couple of words to tell Freddie to get out of there safely and prepared for her own death. And whilst the TBK was on the wall, the party nonetheless prevailed with a good use of some remaining healing potions, some Way of Mercies, good use of patient defense, some devastating criticals from Jasper, and the best use of Crown of Madness I have ever seen a player use, causing the very own monstrosity, the Marrow, to kill the male spellcaster. Shortly afterwards, the Marrow itself fell from a lightning bolt channeled through Rory's body using I almost forgot Jove summoning Aquila. With the male spellcaster and the monstrosity defeated and surrounded on all sides, Shelvasa decided to cut her losses using disengage and her own use of Misty Step and the like. Transported herself out of the immediate cavern, ending the fight. We return back to the party. The prince now stabilized, I believe. The party's still on your feet. I believe Jove had made his way up the ladder back into the pool, with Freddie, you laying on the dry, shallow parts of the pool with your back up against the floor. The maelstrom that had been raging while you guys started this fight has now since dissipated. A good chunk of that water now kind of falling through that open hole down into the cavern. And so I will return it back to the party as the adrenaline still pumping through your veins, many of you wounded, some more so than others. I ask you, I'll hand it back to you guys.
Jove and Freddie had thrown down a rope from where we were perched up above to kind of help some of the folks that were still below get up, especially since I think the prince is unconscious. So I know Jove is going to be up there acting a counterweight for that when people come up.
Gotcha.
Lapis is kind of looking at this water sphere thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything I can infer about it just by looking at it closely?
Roll Arcana.
Arcana, huh? Would you believe that's a nat 20 for 20?
Nat 20 for 20. Looking at it, immediately, this is a source of magic, elemental. You, with a nat 20, you can tell that this is definitely conjuration magic. It is... You're not entirely sure what the exact purpose is. You know that it's being used to channel some of the natural water kind of energy that is here. Um, but looking at its exact use, it doesn't. It seems as if it's not fully formed yet. Now that you're taking a good look at it, like while it is smooth, already you can tell that it is starting to shrink. That whatever was going on was causing it to expand, and now you can see that little by little, it's starting to shrink. Without whatever ritual is going on, the power seems to be draining. That's what I say. A nat 20 for Jasper get you.
Okay.
You can see
She
some of
calls
the.
back to
I will say you can see some of the globules of water that are floating around. Some they are starting to sink and lower. Um, just the energy in here is fading.
mm, um before Rory climbs up the rope, Jasper calls him over real quick. Or Lapis, I suppose. Do you have one of your vials? Do you think you could grab a bit of this water, special water?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look over it, certainly. And Rory will take just one of his empty vials that he has, and I guess would I just put it inside the bubble and just see if I can just kind of swoop some in.
Yeah, you definitely may. You go through and you take one of your empty vials and kind of like siphon it through to where you think you should be able to get some water. And you pull it back and there's some water and immediately begins to kind of start to float back out and head towards the center. And you put a cap on it and like the bottom 5 to 10 millimeters. The water kind of raises and pulls towards the cap that you have on top, the lid, trying to return back. However, when you do this, you feel the glass hit a tink of something solid inside there.
Huh. Is it something inside the vial? Like, can he actually see anything
Not
physical
inside
in
the
it?
vial. The vial hit something when you were putting your hand through it. Putting your
Oh.
hand in it, the water doesn't feel like electricity or like it doesn't have any strange qualities to it besides being cold. But as you go through, the glass hits something solid as you pull it back out and cap this.
I Jasper, there's something in there. Like I felt myself hit it when I went in there. I don't know if it's safe to go in it, but there's definitely something solid inside, that's for sure.
Did your hand feel weird going in?
I mean, I felt like I just put my hand in water, but whatever I hit with the vial, it definitely had some give to it, you know?
She she knows their time is limited, so she doesn't waste much time thinking about it and like shoots her hands in to try to grab at something.
You grasp what feels like wood, and moving your hand around, you feel a handle, and you grab hold of it and pull it back. And then, as soon as it leaves it, the weight of this chest drops the whole thing to the ground. It's got some solid weight to it now that it's no longer suspended in the water. And you find that there is a sealed wooden chest there with a simple lock on the front of it.
This is probably too heavy to climb up a ladder with, yeah?
It would be difficult to do so, yes. However, you could always attach a rope to it and pull it up, or one of the other things. So, yes, it would be difficult to do it, just like if you had it in your hand. It's not like a gigantic chest by any means. I'd say, no bigger than like a computer-sized chest, like a computer tower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like a full set. Like, you couldn't fit a person in there, but you could fit, like,
Okay.
Kyle's dog, Coco, in there.
She'll rush to tie it to the ladder and get us out of here.
Oh,
Yeah, Jove, make me an athletics check.
Sure. Oh, and I still am exhausted, so God. And that gets me at a 11.
An 11. You definitely. This is so much more work than you're anticipating, and Jove, you're struggling. You pull it up. You're like, boy, this prince is heavy. But not a prince is at the other end of it. It's a small chest, and you're able to pull it up. Although you feel incredibly winded afterwards. You can feel that kind of wound in like your back, like towards your chest once again, hindering you from getting the full pull. But you do manage to get the chest out of there, and it's a dark chest, and on the front of it has that symbol that all the cultists have been wearing around their necks. That kind of triangular one, the one that is right here in our Discord.
Is
so
it
it's got-
like? Is
It
it like a
seems just
relief,
like-
or is it like embossed up, or is it just flat with the
Seems to be carved in.
chest carved in? Gotcha.
It's rather crude.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
It
by no
doesn't-
means is this like a fancy chest or anything like that. In fact, if anything, it almost looks like you could have pulled this from a wreckage.
Does anything happen if I pull one of the amulets that I took off the headless guy before and try and slap it in there?
You slap it on there, and it makes a solid of necklace hitting wood, but doesn't have any other effects.
Well, I guess you only know if you try. Hey, y'all, do you guys mind bringing up Aquila when you get a chance? I don't know
Is
how good she is with ladders.
Yeah, I can get her in just a second.
Is the prince still down here?
The prince is still down here. He is stabilized, so he's definitely alive. Though I think currently he is unconscious.
Okay. Yeah, throw the rope back down while you're at it. We need to get this rich boy out of here.
Before I head up too, can Rornak check the body on that spellcaster?
You may
The dead-
indeed check the body of that spellcaster. You see that on him is like that kind of like a hand pitchfork. It's like if you took a pitchfork and you only kept the metal parts of it, although it is it's got that kind of green layer to it of something that's been submerged in water for a long period of time. So that is specifically, that's a hand fork. It's a melee weapon, reach of 5. It can also be thrown. It's got a range of 20/60 feet, and it does 1d6 of piercing damage. Counts as light. You
Ooh.
also find on his body is a shield, and on the front of it is an eye, not unlike the eye you saw in the grotto for Umber Lee. It's kind of oblong. It's got this really obvious eye motif with several other eyes on its surface, and when you hold it up and look at it, it blinks at you.
I think this shield is alive.
Yeah, while Jasper's tying up the prince with the rope. Well, is it trying to attack you?
No, but it's definitely looking at me. It blinked even.
And as Jasper speaks up, Rory, you see that a number of eyes look over in her direction at the sound, while some are still focused on you.
There's a lot more than one on this thing. I don't know if I have a good vibe about it if we want to bring this one back out.
Just cover it up or something. Jovial.
If it's magic, we can sell it.
That's fair. Okay.
Any spell books down there?
No spell books. Do you have that fork weapon that spellcaster was using? Can bring that up. Rory wrap around it is probably off and just kind of like toss it over the shield and its eyes.
Tarps off, boys.
Shirt is off, everybody.
Yeah, you get it and you wrap it around and you know you pick it up and it's a strange sensation. While you like kind of pick it up by like the handles on the inside make it easy to carry, and while the um, eye is covered, you just feel more alert while you're holding on to it. It's a strange sensation, Rory. It's kind of just like having an extra set of eyes, but more of like a sensation. You just feel very aware of it.
Interesting.
After tying up the prince, Jasper's gonna go grab her mask and put it back on, and just take one last quick look around and see if there's anything else of note.
Roll me a perception check.
Sure thing. My passive is 9.
Yeah. Looking around, your eyes look towards that kind of water rise up there, and the tunnel leading back from it. Thinking of Shelvasa's escape. But other than that, now that everything's not trying to kill you in here, it's just it's almost serene. Now that there's not monsters and spellcasters and spells, it is beautiful in a way that you don't often describe nature. But besides that, you don't see anything else.
Okay. Then she's how big is Aquila?
Aquila, she is small, I believe.
Yep, this is technically a small dragon.
And she'll just pick her up like a ball and carry her up the ladder.
Yeah, I imagine her being like medium dog size, so like is definitely gonna be bigger than like my dog Coco, for those who know what she looks like, but is still kind of more slender than you might think something called a drake would be, and a little more dainty. Really, the biggest thing is her kind of beaver style tail instead of a more like feline type of tail is really the most broad thing about her. And just her when she's standing up straight, she has the kind of the English bulldog stance, but is carryable. And I'm guessing DM that Aquila would just be happy with taking that, but if there's any issues with that, you let me know.
She speaks out. Simiti vivlin seska e keske kari. Which rounds out in your mind, Jove, to I'm not a pet to be carried. While she does get picked up, she definitely has a bad attitude about it.
Yeah, and as they're coming up the ladder, says,
Jasper, everybody can hear when Aquila speaks this. She's very verbal about it. But
hey, Joe, this thing's hissing at me.
Si mi tibile sniska e keske keri. Trekma akahir.
Yeah. We all know that you want to be able to climb the ladder yourself, but you can't. You got to get used to some of your physical limitations here on this material plane, Aquila. Just do me a favor, Jasper, and don't be like patting her on the head or like offer her a treat or anything. I don't think she'll take too kindly to that.
You don't need to fucking tell me twice. She drops Aquila like a foot and a half off the ground onto the floor.
Wux cannot tak vukat batsbat. Which Jove, means you don't know that. Literally means in response to your thing is you don't know
that. She said thanks.
That was a fucking long thank you, but you know what? I'll go ahead and believe it.
Sitirti. I did not.
And yeah, with that, Jasper looks over at Rory. So
Hold on. I need athletic checks to who's pulling the prince up.
Oh, yeah.
Da. Let's get the prince out of there.
Fair enough.
Not me.
I'll do it.
I would do it. I just still have
Uh-huh.
disadvantage. I'm sorry.
I mean, I guess if
Anyone
everyone's
want to
fucking
help?
tired, I can help.
Go
No.
ahead, Jasper. Roll athletics with advantage.
Oh my god. And 9.
Poof. You get up there before the rope kind of slips and feel a large thud. Just a low.
How about all 3 of you help me?
Yeah, that can be done.
With that many of you guys, it's less pulling of you all walking back together, and with your weight compared to his weights, you're able to pull him up. It's not smooth, and you can hear a da-boof, da-boof. You can feel him kind of swinging and bumping up against the sides. It's not pretty, but luckily he's unconscious, so what's he
He'll
gonna
wake
do
up with
about it?
bruises. Yeah. Sorry, friend.
You think he's already gonna wake up with bruises. What's a couple more? But you are
You're
able to get
welcome, Your
the prince
Majesty.
out of there.
He's alive.
And he does come about, and he is indeed breathing.
While they're all like panting after doing that all out, Jasper looks at Rory. So what the fuck was that about? That bitch said it didn't have to be that way? What happened down there?
Well, I was trying to make my way through those water bubbles or pockets, whatever you call it, and when I got out of it, I saw the one that got his head caved in coming at me, and then that other spellcaster. She was there with our elf friend here. I thought that perhaps they were together, but turned out she was with, well, not a friend, and became a little bit of a hostage situation there. I put a priority on trying to get him out of here in one piece, and try to negotiate a mercy for a mercy there, so to speak. But, well, I didn't necessarily like the cut of their jib, but I put the priority on him, and once Job came in, I thought maybe we could possibly take him if we felt we had a good chance, but, well, you saw how things
Did you
worked
happen
out
to
for
forget
them.
about that room of fucking cultists we were fighting out there while you were down here? If I had come in half a second later, you and Jove would both be fucking dead.
Well, and part of the job was making sure that this one got out of it here alive. I'm sorry, but I did get him out.
No, we got him out.
Well, to be fair, I was the one who initiated the conflict once we were down there. I don't know about you all, but I'm not too much the conspiratorial type. But if you guys remember all that, fell earth seed or whatever we came into contact with under the in the mine, well, I was getting some hard vibes that were real similar to that while we were down there. And frankly, the whole negotiating business deals was more my dad's thing than it was mine. But if you waltz into somebody's place, you fuck up their ritual, you kill some of their folks, it don't make sense to me. Somebody, yeah, you can just come in and get exactly what you want, our little prince friend here, and walk away completely unscathed. It smelled fishy, and not just because there was so much dead shit down there. And frankly, I threw the javelin because I really thought as soon as we got up that ladder, what was going to happen was that we were all going to die, or at least get blasted out the ass. So I agree things happened a little bit quickly, but I think that our survival is thanks to each of our efforts, not just one of us coming through and kicking ass there at the end. And that's what I got to say about that now.
Aquila chimes in with "Vi bensvix de Valham." was a good fight.
See, I totally agree, Gila. It was a good fight. And see, I also told you all that I did have a legitimate dragon egg, as evidenced by this here Aquila right now. Look, that got messy, and I know we don't really have a structure. I mean, that miscreant before was asking us, you know, who's our leader? How does this whole little shindig we got going working? And well, I appreciate a horizontal organization that's consensus based, and I think what we're doing is doing good. But let's not kid ourselves. Like, is it just about the money? Because Jasper, I hear you talking like this now, and I don't want to push something that you don't want to get out, but I feel like we aren't being honest with each other all around the table here. And if we're going to keep putting ourselves within a dog's hair of death, I think we owe each other at least a little bit of honesty. Doesn't have to be done right here, right now. In this situation, we got a prince to return. We've got somebody tied up in the hall of gods or whatever, which I frankly don't want to go back to. I got the Willies when I went there. But once we get back to Mole Master, I plan on telling the Emerald Enclave of what's going down here. And frankly, shit's getting scary. I don't know about y'all, but I saw some fires on the way when we went south. I know you all, Freddie, Jasper, are Mole Masterites through and through and what have you, but the rumblings that happen outside the city eventually pour their way in. And as somebody who is in Flan and watched that happen in real time, it can have deadly consequences.
You're right. We should talk about this later. Let's get Fancy Pants back to his friends and get our friend that's tied up.
All right. Has anybody got any smelling salts or anything to get this boy back on his feet? Because the last little bit of go juice I had went into Rorinek's mouth.
Rornak, still completely covered in the bright red scarring, would just tell you. I put some life force in him if I could, but I need to rest before I could do anything like that.
Yeah, I ain't got shit for that.
Yep, I'm out.
Well, all right. Well, then let's pick up this guy and go back over and turn him over to Musana. I'm sure that his mother is well capable of getting him healed.
Jasper will kind of kneel down next to the prince and look at Jove to help her get him on her back. Actually, she'll just fireman carry him. That's fine.
Yeah, he is very stereotypically elven. While he is, long in many ways, he doesn't weigh a ton. Not terribly more, than that chest that you pulled out of whatever that water spear is. So it's not incredibly difficult. And he's out. So he's a little. The weight's a little weird, but you're able to get him on your back relatively easy.
And we'll go back to that pool, I guess.
Who wants to carry this chest? Because I don't think I can carry this chest.
I could carry that for you. Would you want to carry the shield with eyes?
Creepy, but yeah.
Fair enough. Let me know if you feel peculiar when you have that thing, by the way.
Wait.
Can't...
Well, is it like something weird magical with it? I mean, should we maybe, I don't know, use Freddy's blue eyes on it or something to make sure we're not
When we have a chance, I would say definitely. I've never seen anything like this with eyes on it, and I don't know. You can touch it for yourself, but you just feel aware. It's the best way I could put it.
Fair enough, I guess. Yep, I hand it over.
I
Yeah.
will swap and exchange with him.
Yeah, and Jove, as Rory wasn't kidding. As soon as you have this on your person, you do feel more aware. It's kind of like having spatial awareness turned up. You're just very aware of all the bodies in this room, where they're at. It's not a bad feeling. It's just very much I don't know, when you become aware of your teeth, and sometimes you got to
Mm.
stop thinking about how aware of your teeth you are. Or
Oh
like
yeah.
if you look towards your nose and you're like, "Oh, that's always been there. I can always see my nose." And you have to focus on not thinking about the fact that you can always see your nose. It's kind of like that sensation, just but for other people around you. And you're just like, I know Rory's like Rory's there, Rory's here, Rory's here, even though your eyes aren't directly on them.
Spooky.
But with chest and shield and prince, which sounds like the start of a new Legend of Zelda game. You make your way out of kind of the pools, past the hallway with the number of doors out to the right in the bathhouse, and head back down the steps. It's a less than 5 minutes later. You guys are back at the pool, and as soon as you are there, Musana and her handmaidens, almost like going from laying down just straight onto their feet. And in Elven, you hear her call out for her prince, and they get out of the water at this and rush over to you.
Jove tells them in Elvish, Musana, your Prince Luthal, he's still alive. He's unconscious right now, but he's still breathing, and with a little bit of healing, he'll be right back and right as rain with you under the moon sea.
She nods and she reaches behind and pulls out like what looks like a shell and breaks the top of it, and from that pours a liquid into the prince's mouth before crushing the rest of the shell and throwing it to the side. And there's a few moments before the prince's eyes open up. The color returns back to kind of his complexion, and he oh, oh. And you can see that while his complexion has returned to kind of a healthy color, you can see that there are dark bruises on him in some places. Parts of his skin are still kind of mottled, but cries of pain are the sure signs of being alive. And he looks up and, Musana, my prince. It's good to have you back. I feel awful, but I guess I'm alive. And looks to you all, and I believe that I have you all to thank for that. You, and looks to you, Jove. You speak our tongue. You also
Yes.
had the pearl.
Indeed, and he digs that out of his pocket and hands it back.
And he puts his hand on and has you close your hands back over the pearl. No, you are Alhanda Brath. Yotath Shantar and Tatalal Alhanda Brath. You are a true friend, as the trees and the water are true friends. Keep it.
Well, I will. To the end of my days. Since we're true friends and all, I just feel like we need to let you know that we didn't completely excise all of the members of the cult out of the bathhouse. There's still one. It seemed to be their leader of some sorts that managed to slip away, and I'm glad that we got you out of there. But just for your kinfolk to know, whatever they were doing and whatever magic-y bullshit that they were doing to that water down there, I have a feeling that they're going to come back for it. They kept heard the word node thrown around or something like that. So
Yes.
I'm glad that we got you out there, but I'm sorry we couldn't do it all.
I believe you're speaking about Shalvasa. She was of our tribe. Though she has gone down a path that we are unable to follow. I appreciate you saving me, of course, and I promise that we, the Sea Elves of the Moon Sea, will watch over, make sure that she does not find her way back. Although I would feel more comfortable if we had seen her fallen at our feet.
That makes two of us, friend.
Do you know
Also,
what it is that you stumbled upon in there?
No, not quite. I've never seen water do that before, though, so something weird.
Yes, that's what we would refer to as an elemental node. It is a gathering of mental magics. We, and my people, are followers of Estetia, it being one of the great elemental lords of water. This cult is in service to Alahydra, a twisted, dark reflection of our own master. Believe they're trying to gather the energy from the elemental node to what end, I'm not entirely sure. But I wouldn't put it past them to be trying to bring forth Alahydra. Or at least prepare for his arrival.
And is that like a cataclysmic style event?
At best, the Moon Sea would become far larger. It would spill into the Sea of Fallen Stars, drown the Dragon Coast. And then once it makes contact with the Sea of the Sword Coast, yes, anything that is not high upon the mountains or fancies themselves in the depths would find the world uninhabitable.
Well, shit. Can't abide by that. Too much of the best parts of this world are at the bottom of the mountainside, so, yeah, we'll be rooting for you guys, because that all Hydra fella seems... None of us want that, so... Honestly, Prince, one thing before we retire and let you get back to where I'm sure you would rather be, under the sea. We do have a prisoner of sorts from this cult, and if it interests you or your mother, I can talk to the group about handing her over to you if you felt like there was any information or anything that you could get out that could help stop Al-Hydra from coming back, or at the very least from this node getting used to ends that it's not meant for. Was that
And,
something that you all use?
As you refer to Musana as Ulatha's mother, they both kind of laugh, and Ulatha says, I think Musana's about 200 years too young to be my mother. Curious, though that is what you interpreted. Musana is a high priestess, but she is not my mother. Although, I suppose, in your culture that would seem right. And Musana nods, and there's a moment of lightheartedness before the prince returns your gaze. Yes, you may release her to our care. She has committed many crimes against us, and I think, personally, and on behalf of my people, that she's due in the Bell of the Depths to seek out our justice. However, I would not assume to take away such a bounty from you as well, once our business is concluded.
Well, we kind of we call Mulemaster home for now, so that's generally where we were going to be heading back. I've got a little rowboat tucked away on the River List that we were going to go back and start that long paddle back up into the bay.
Then we will assist you in returning back. I find that your paddle boats suffer going upstream. It is the least that we can do.
Well, much appreciated. I'll let my friends know, and we'll get ready to get out of here.
Where is your rowboat located? We will meet you there.
Yeah. So if you go, and I'm sure Jove would be able to explain.
Yeah,
that
you're able to
Kyle,
explain where you're at, and they nod, and Ulatha offers you a smile and says, "As Prince of the Sea Folks, I, Ulatha Mesavir, thank you, Jove, and your companions. I
Jove
hope that this is
will-
not the last time we get to meet."
Jove takes a deep bow and says, "Something tells me that this certainly can't be the last."
And the prince returns your bow before Musana and her handmaidens assist him, and they head down from the fountain down to kind of that creek back into the river, and you see them just almost silently descend into the water, and you can see as soon as the prince touches the water, it's almost like his he goes from being kind of this sinewy, thin, not quite emaciated, but definitely moving towards that, to suddenly he just seems more full. He almost fills out in front of you, and his skin seems to smooth over upon returning back to the water. And it is, even with you who have a 9 as passive perception, can see just the relief and joy the Prince, Musana, and the handmaids have upon returning back to the waters of the Moonsea.
Well, folks, I got some good news. Our new water elf friends are gonna help us paddle back up the river list, so that's gonna make life a little bit easier on us. And in second, I was asking them if they wanted to handle our prisoner situation, and they said that they would be happy to take her off our hands to see judgment for what they've done to their people, but also said they'd understand if that was a prize bounty for us back in the town. I said that I wouldn't make a decision on behalf of all of us, so I personally don't have any qualms with them with getting some justice from these folks, but what are your all thoughts? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever sounds good. Just make sure that you keep us in on it.
Absolutely.
The justice is all the same in my eyes. Whether it comes from us or them, it matters not to me.
Also, and I think like during this period, we would be like going to get the lady to untie her and stuff and do all of that. But in that time, Freddie, Wernack, and really anybody, has anybody heard about all Hydra at all? I'm not much in the way of knowing anything about gods, but I know Freddie, you do some studying up. Does that ring a bell?
Studying is a word for it. Let me roll history, yeah.
This would actually be religion.
Could I check
Religion, okay.
and see
Yes,
if I heard
anybody
it?
who would like to roll for all Hydra may roll religion.
Cool. I will do such. 14.
14.
I'll help.
Bad. 9.
9.
I'll help you with that.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna roll again. 15.
15. From various ways, Freddie, you have a very academic knowledge of it. All Hydra is referred to as, and I misspoke, as Ulatha, as the princess of evil water creatures. Is known for being a elemental of vast power, known as an archomental. While Umberlee is the goddess of the water, Alahydra does not follow Umberlee. It is, at least Umberlee can be bargained with. Alahydra simply is the well of endless anguish. Rory, you don't know specifically about Alahydra. You have heard of Archomentals, but from your neck of the woods, you're more familiar with the Archomental Yonsibin, which is the Archomental of evil air. But you know that they're in the same category. Beings of great elemental power who are neutral evil in every aspect. Raw, untamed elemental fury.
Well, if y'all know anything about Ollie Hydra, what the prince was just saying was that what we were just witnessing was, somebody trying to clear the way for Ollie Hydra to be on the material plane, or at least summon her somehow. I'm not sure, but that it could mean that just about everything that we know and love ends up underwater. So,
Yeah, I heard her.
wait, you speak? Oh yeah, you speak Elvish. I forgot about that, Freddie.
Yeah, I just didn't want to, get in the way of all that. It was just not necessary to intervene just to tell her that I spoke Elfish. Kind of felt like boasting. And if you know anything about me, I'm not a boaster.
No, that would be
I
completely out of
would
character.
never. I would never.
Not even once.
Chester's just staring at him.
Uh, well, then I don't know about you folks, but I can go to bed knowing that, hey, we may have just stopped something really, really bad. But we still got a long journey ahead of us before sleep's the thing. So even though Rornak, I've watched you puke now in public multiple times, and this is the shittiest you've looked. Honestly, I swear some of them scars I have not seen before. So
These past 2 days have really not been kind to me. You hardly need much vision at all to see that one, friend. But it's all somewhat to be expected. If I am one to take on suffering, I guess this is a look I'll be having pretty often.
You guys
well,
make
let's
your
get
way over to the Temple of All Gods and enter in once more, and exactly where you left her. There's Rogers, still bound to the statue in dedication of Mask. Still angry, although surprised to see you return.
Oh, not smiling anymore, are you?
So wait, did you know all the people in that place over there?
Like by their names and such?
Um, she's currently bound, so she isn't able to give a verbal reply, but her eyes say that yes, she was aware of all the people who were there.
Well, actually, you knew all the people over there.
I think that does psychic damage.
Yeah, I think it takes a point of emotional damage. That's a permanent -1. Reduced her max hit points by 1. Um, yeah, and she is. It takes no insight rolls to see that just the absolute hatred coming out of her body.
Hey, why don't we for them?
It's so petty that I like it. Let's do it.
So
Do
you
y'all have a way of opening the chest?
It just has a simple, like, it's not locked. It is
Okay.
secured, but it doesn't appear, it's a chest for holding things rather than locking it away. So it's
Okay.
easy enough just to open it up. And inside, as you open up this chest, you find, and
A
this,
demon.
you find a demon. Everybody go ahead and make a intelligence saving throw.
Oh no.
Yeah, intelligence. You
Oh
find
jeez.
in this chest a silver sextant.
Nice.
You find paper and ink inside water-resistant paper and ink inside a waterproof skull case. Inside the scroll case also contains a scroll of absorb elements and a scroll of augury. You see an amulet made of polished coral engraved with the symbol of the cults. A wave-bladed dagger with the handle made out of shark skin wrapped in coral. And various coins and gems worth about 80 gold pieces.
Jasper reaches for the dagger. Take us a look at it.
It is, I mean, it's a fine dagger. The shark skin wrapped coral really it really grips to the hand. It's not balanced well. You can already kind of tell, but you've got a grip on this thing. So
not
for
really
fun
a
fact,
throwing knife.
not really a throwing knife. Specifically, when this blade is wielded underwater, you do not make attacks with disadvantage.
Oh.
Interesting. I do like knives, but this one isn't really my style if someone else wants it.
If no one has any need, I can actually use something. So,
There you go.
thank you.
Yeah, and you, Rory, it's not balanced well, even with your kind of typically not use of blades. However, you feel with your grip, you're like, it would be very hard to disarm you with this if you held on. You kind of shake it around, do a couple stabs, and it doesn't move an inch in your grip.
Nice. Well, this will certainly get the job done. While we're going over that, actually, and he'll reach over and he'll put the fork down. If anyone actually wants to make use of this is not really my style either, but fairly light weapon, honestly.
Jove will pick it up and try and thrust it around. And I'm sorry, Di, I know you described it. You said it was a D6 light weapon. You can throw it kind of like a spear.
Mm-hmm.
Was
It
there
is
anything else to it?
No. Besides that, it's a hand fork melee weapon. Does piercing damage. A D6. 20, 60 feet range. Jove, I mean, it's It's not. I mean, it's so short compared to what you're used to using, but the basic principles are the same. You know, it's got some weight to it. That is, it's for a person your size and with your strength. Like you feel like you could really whip this around.
Frankly, this looks more like a cooking utensil to me than something fit for battle. Since you found it, Rory, unless anybody else wants to take it, Rory, you can pawn it off and take the gold for it. I think I'll stay with just a spear. Sounds nice enough for me right now.
Yeah, the plan was to pawn it if no one wanted it, but thought I'd take a last call.
And Keela, as you you know, give away the weapon, chimes in with "Vis tis Velklarek." True, bad weapon.
And he just looks at Aquila and says, "Thank you, Aquila." Gassing me up. Okay. Well, while we got a little bit of time, and I don't feel like we're in immediate danger. One thing that's still kind of we don't know so much about is this year's shield. Freddie, is there any way that you can use your eyes on this to kind of get us a better feeling what's going on here? I got 10 minutes if you need it.
Yeah, I can. With 10 minutes, I can tell you everything you need to know about it. So we take 10 minutes, and I cast Identify.
And was that on the shield? I heard correctly.
Yeah.
That is a Sentinel shield. It is an uncommon magic item. Whilst you use this, does not require attunement, but while you have this shield equipped, you have advantage on initiative checks.
Oh.
Damn.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yes, its eyes.
Joe, do you use shields?
I do use a shield, yes.
Okay.
I'm assuming
That's-
I can take the scrolls.
Yeah, you go ahead. You take the scrolls.
Yeah, I can't do
Oh.
shit with that.
And it's not just on initiative rolls, it's also on perception checks.
Ooh,
Pretty
it's
perceptive.
good for a ranger.
Ja,
Let's see.
Sentinel shield. Super neat, uncommon.
Well, if you folks don't mind, I don't mind holding on to the eye shield. I tried to keep my eyes peeled in these encounters anyways. It sounds like it'd be a bit of help.
I have no use for it. Be careful not to poke the eyes on that thing, though. Also, I'll take that back as he grabs his shirt or his top and puts it back on.
Yeah, I took this crazy axe in the last trip, so if it fair's fair.
Good to me. I don't, I've got some experience with navigation tools and whatnot. That silver sextant looks pretty nice. I don't know why you would want a silver sextant besides, just to
It
say
looks
about
cool.
one. It does look cool, and I guess if you're worried about map making werewolves or something like that, it'd be nice to have. But I don't know. I got no use for it. I'm glad somebody laughed. Thank you, Dust. So that can go to the pawn pile. I can go to the pawn pile if somebody needs to.
What were the
Yeah, I ain't
scrolls?
got no
I
use
have
for that.
Augury and what?
Absorb elements.
Okay.
That was all of it.
Yep, I think for that chest, yes. There's also the 80
Okay.
gold pieces and bits of gems as well. So yeah, the sextant, the 80 gold pieces of gems and various coins. There's the amulet with the symbol of the cults. The dagger, which is now in Rory's possession. The sextant, the water-resistant paper and ink, the waterproof scroll case, and the 2 scrolls inside of that.
I'll take the sextant to pawn off, I guess.
Who's got the 80 gold pieces, or do you just want to split that between the four of you in 20?
Let's do
That'd
that.
probably be
Feels like
easier.
party loot.
Party loop? All right, everybody go ahead and add 20 gold pieces.
Nice.
That's it.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, let's get our prisoner marching, and we'll find our friends up on the river.
You get down Rogers. She doesn't thrash, but she well, you guys bound her up really, really well. So if she did thrash, it wouldn't help. If anything, she's just incredibly stiff. She's not giving you any wiggle room or help. It's a pain in the ass, but it only ends up hurting her as she stiffens up, and then as you kind of pull her here, you get her by the legs, and you pull her legs out, and then her head just falls straight down and poof, right onto the temple floor with a large smack.
Oof. That's really bad for you.
She looks a bit dazed, but her body definitely loosened. She's no longer just completely stiffed up after that.
Her body loosened up a bit.
Girl, I want your body. I want your body.
Yeah,
but
as much as a pain in the ass it's gonna be to carry her like this, she's gonna make it even worse if we try to walk her, so.
And I'll ask Aquila to keep eyes on her and to chase her down and eat her legs if she tries to run.
Eat her legs.
Eat her legs.
She nods, and the eater leg parts, and just doesn't say anything. Just looks at you. Blinks real hard. Looks back. Looks back at you one more time, and then nods.
Only in extreme situations. Aquila. Don't worry.
Continues to nod.
Alright, let's go.
You make your way out of the Temple of All Gods, head back away from the ruins of Fort Dalton, passing by the long kind of metal pole, like the last really remaining metal thing in this area before eventually getting back to the floating leaf. And as you guys approach, you can see the from kind of like the nose up, so just the eyes kind of sticking out. Four figures are just kind of bobbing by the floating leaf. And as you approach, they raise up a little bit and greet you. And it is Ulatha, his people.
Well, Prince, here's the prisoner we were talking about. I think her name's Rogers or something like that. So, I talked to the crew, and they're good with us, relinquishing her into your care as you dole out justice as y'all see fit.
Thank you, Alhand. And he sticks out a hand, and Musana puts this. It looks like a sea urchin into his hand, but it's more. It almost looks like a choker, and goes over to Rogers and pierces it into her neck, and it goes around, and there's a quick sound of her, and then dumps her into the water. Do not worry, it is so she can breathe for the time being. No use of making her journey too comfortable, wouldn't you say?
You bet.
And they gesture for you all to get into your vessel, and the four of them all with Rogers kind of they take some of the rope and undo the leg parts, and then attach it to the handmaidens, who are on kind of like the back half of the ship. And as you guys enter in, and you feel um, Musana and Ulatha and the handmaidens begin swimming forward with their hands kind of on the boats, and you guys make a nice steady pace going upstream the River Dalton. Every now and then you can see Rogers, like a foot will bob up to the surface, or for just a second, like her head will appear up above the water and then fall back down, and more or less dragging her behind your ship as you guys begin to make your journey. It's um, it takes a little bit, you know. It took you guys some time to get down here. Would have taken much longer, but with the assistance of the sea elves, you make it back to Flan, or not Flan, sorry, Mulemaster, uh, in the better part of like 6 hours. So it is well into evening by the time you've returned back, and you can see, you begin to see the light of Mulemaster going around the corner towards the bay. However, when you left, and characteristically for the season, it's typically pretty cold. Very much that windy Chicago. They're like right up on the Great Lakes. However, while it is gray, it's now the air feels like there's soot and ash in it, like all around, and there's a heat coming from the city. Everything feels dry as you return, unnaturally so. Even though it's definitely night, it feels almost like as you get closer and closer to the city, it just feels dry. Unnaturally so. You see that the sea elves, as you get closer and closer to Mulemaster, um, bring you up along the bay. That they've gotten deeper and deeper into the water, and by the time you guys are there, they're pretty much all underneath the boat, kind of pushing you guys forward. Or just right outside the bay of Mulemaster, where well, I'll ask before we get there. Was there you guys have 6 hours to talk? Is there any RP you'd like to do before we turn back to Mulemaster?
Yeah. So Jasper, you took off your mask and you kind of remind me of somebody I know. What's your name?
God damn it, Freddy. I'm your sister.
I was afraid of that. What are you doing adventuring? Aren't you supposed to be sick in bed or something?
Yeah, well, that's why they think I'm so frail, is because I sneak out and I bruise myself up and come back and make myself look small and weak. And they eat it up because that's all they've ever seen.
Hmm. And you were just not gonna tell me ever, or were you just waiting until you just about died? So the last thing I saw of my sister was realizing it was her for 10 seconds before she died, and then I just got to live with that? Or just like, what was the plan in the end?
Actually, I hadn't intended in doing all this until I saw that you were doing it, and if I hadn't been there during all the nonsense with the Mistress Vaj's estate, you would be dead 3 times over. So I said to myself, do I stop going with these people and just hope that he doesn't get killed in the dark underwater or something? I had to keep an eye on you. You're welcome.
I mean, I feel like what I do is none of your business. We've spent plenty of time apart, and I think that more time apart wouldn't hurt either of us. But I guess we're together now. So it's nice to see you, sis. Such great terms to finally get back in contact.
And Father really did rub off on you. She gets up and walks away.
You can't. You're on a little boat. Where are you gonna go?
Oh yeah,
I was gonna say- I was gonna
Joel and Rory are just listening to this. I'm just like, goes to walk away, and the boat goes side to side, and Ulala like pops up his head. It's like, hey, sinks back down.
She like gets up and like moves one row of seats over.
Jasper, I do actually have a question. First off, I'm sorry about back there, and thank you again for the save, as usual, but I'm confused. What? Why would you not show your family your strength? Do they not value you being strong, or I'm just confused?
All I am to them is a pawn in their little game to be sold off to the highest bidder. So they don't want a soldier who's going to get herself maimed or killed. They just want me to sit pretty.
So if they saw you do what all of us have seen you do, they'd see no value in that.
Oh, I'm sure they would build me a prison so that I'd never be able to escape their sights.
Yeah, she's not really exaggerating. It's kind of unfortunate that the family is that way, but that's them.
Zero value in one's strength or body. Noble life
Pretty
could
much
be
negative
there.
value, actually, is the way they see it.
It it goes against everything that I know. It just boggles my mind on that one. Well, I'm sorry you're in that. Uh, I guess as long as you want to stay with it, I won't mention anything. It's just perplexing.
I have a feeling that if the Zor is willing to put his own daughter in a padded cage, Rornak, you and me would probably get much worse if he found out that we were out gallivanting with his daughter. So yeah, I'm all for keeping this a secret, Jasper, if that's what you want.
I just think it's best for all of us. We've all seen what Azor will do when their child is doing what they please. So, waiting to get sold off, and whoever I end up with is probably easier.
Sorry, I don't know too much about Mole Master, but is this selling or is this like
No,
a hyperbole like
they
royalty
call it
type of thing?
marriage.
Oh, yeah. We got back that in the Dales, so it's not a big affair like it seems like it is for you guys. Anyways, that does seem awfully cruel for a parent not to allow their child to have their right to pursue happiness and freedom as they see fit. So that's a tough one, Jasper. Jasper, what would you prefer me call you?
I would prefer you call me Jasper.
Where it is. That's easy. Keep going with what we got.
Thanks.
For what it's worth, I like you guys a lot, all y'all. And Jasper, if there was a point that you needed a hand to, I don't know, out of your situation, I hope you'd know that you could call on me for help.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
So, you guys have this conversation. Begin, as you guys return back to that Bay of Mulmaster, we'll pick up where I left off. You guys are kind of bobbing just outside of the bay. You can see, even though it is night, lots of the bay is through torches and other lanterns. I mean, the whole city looks like a thing of fireflies just sitting there. And you can feel there's just, while it was dry all around, now that you're right in front of the Bay of Mulmaster, there's this humidity that just, if it had a sound, it would just be like, oh, from the bay. You can already feel, even on the water, you're starting to kind of sweat a little bit. And Latha, you can feel the weight of Rogers get detached kind of away from the boat. And Lothala kind of puts his elbows on top of the side of the boat and looks up and says, "Well, I believe this is where I'll be making my leave. Hope the ride was gentle enough."
Smooth sailing. Thank you, Prince. And we'll be seeing you again here soon, okay?
I'm looking forward to it, Alhand. If you ever need to get a hold of us, simply take that pearl in your hand and submerge it into the moon sea. Now, I can't say that will magically appear out of nowhere, but we will eventually arrive at that location. It just might take a little longer than, on some days more than others. But
I don't expect.
I'll know.
I appreciate that. Don't expect you to be at our beck and call, but I'll make sure if I do submerge this here pearl in the water, it's for a real good reason.
Then I will make sure that I come post haste if I sense you've returned back into the water. Until then, goodbye, Alhan Habrath. And suddenly the elves are gone. And you are left right outside the Bay of Mulmaster.
What was he calling you? Alhan Habra?
Alhand Abrath, which, Freddy, you definitely know means it's not used very often, but it does mean a true friend.
Okay.
Since you definitely have much more the scholarly term of it, like that is very much like you would not just call somebody that. It's very much like using the informal too in Spanish, but like a really fancy kind. Like only the closest of friends get referred to as that. Like you got to really do something worth it, especially from the elves. Like to hear somebody say that in Mulmaster, you'd probably get laughed at. Anybody who actually understands elf, it's very elven, very flowery. But yes, you guys are back in the Bay of Mulmaster. What would you like to do?
Yeah, is there a spot for me to like stow my ship? Or yeah, I guess I don't know.
There are lots of places in Mulmaster where you can tie up your ship. You will have to pay the dock workers to have that there. But I mean, the Bay of Mulmaster is in many ways its defining feature. So there's tons of places and all sorts of ships, ranging from no more than a raft or a rowboat like yours to full-sized warships in the Bay of Mulmaster. So it's easy enough for you to find spots. There is if you'd like them to hold your rowboat there and to secure it, it is a gold piece though.
Jove will dig one out and hand it to the dock worker.
They nod and get your name and write down, Joe, what your, they'll ask you what name would you like to, who's the captain of this vessel?
Oh, that'd be me, Joe Featherfoot.
Joe Featherfoot. So Joe Featherfoot, the floating leaf, you now know in the Bay of Mulmaster. It's not, there's a section, so you've got your boat tied up for the time being in the Bay of Mulmaster.
Perfect.
You guys get back onto the docks, and it is sweaty out here, even at night. To go from how cold and rainy and just kind of the freshness of being out in the wilderness to now, very much think that like downtown Phoenix after it rains. That just, it just like sits. Like the water rises up just enough to like cover your whole body, and then you start the sweating, and then you rise any higher, and it just feels like hot air on top of it. It just feels trapped in here, and it's at this point just so unnatural for it to be like this.
Is it just me, or is this a little unseasonable weather here?
That's definitely the case.
Hope some shit's not on fire again. The Zent Ghetto's okay.
Want to take a look?
It seems like the only way to find out. So pulling up to the shore, we would have felt this, right? So I probably would have taken the moment that we started feeling it to start casting Detect Magic, because it's unseasonably been. That being my role, it's probably what I would go to.
Yeah, looking at it with the Detect Magic, there's the usual pings by this point as returns. Jove, Aquila, her timer has run out after the end of 6 hours, I believe.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And so, how does she dissipate, I should say?
Well, what everybody else sees is just like at a, I believe. Let me double check. Yes, so it's per proficiency bonus hour. So it's after the hours of us doing our thing. Aquila just kind of starts to nestle, kind of like a dog, and as she keeps doing that, she kind of is like generating some electricity, and then she almost kind of like fairy lights just starts to flit up, and kind of in that static cloud, there is a little arc of electricity as kind of Jove reaches out, and there's a little bit of the connection between that cloud and his finger as the electricity arm, and it just kind of disappears into his back, and you're not really sure where that energy has gone, but it definitely looks like, and Rornak would probably have the most keen sense of this. Yes, like that definitely went inside of Joe's body.
So yeah,
Like,
with your eyes, you can see just kind of between Joe's shoulder blades. You pick up that same kind of magic. In fact, you don't sense the egg at all anymore. Jove now has that, but it just sits on his back. It's not like in his person either. It's almost like, in many ways, Jove is the egg. So you
Whoa,
notice
that's
that.
deep.
I know. But looking around, there's no, while it is unseasonable, besides the usual pings of magic that you get, it doesn't seem like the city itself is like deep in the magic. It's not like the Seed of Fell Earth or the Elemental Node where it just seeped out everywhere. You don't pick up any of that this time around, which is unnerving.
well, I was going to go to the Shrine of Malar anyways to give Yavendel a little update on our return. You know, that's right next to the Zent Ghetto, so if you folks want to join me down there, I'd be more than happy to have you.
Yeah, I'll join you.
I will also accompany. Oh,
Ooh, Kyle, your mic is doing this weird staticky noise. You might want to unplug it and plug it back in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You in, Freddy?
Oh yeah.
All right, hold on. We'll see if.
Still bad?
Ah, there we go. Yep,
Better.
fixed
Yeah.
it. So you all let me pull up the master. There, the bay of Mole Master. So you guys get out of the bay, begin walking towards where the Shrine of Malar is next to the South Road Keep. There's the Shrine of Malar right next to it, and then this area right here is the Zentghetto. So I will ask Zentghetto or Shrine of Malar first. Party, you tell me.
Zenghetto.
Zentghetto.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
you guys
Yep.
head into the Zentghetto. That's the gates, and the heat is not any better in the Zentghetto. It's still that kind of just humid. Like it feels like the air you're breathing in has weight to it. And especially I think Jasper, you especially feel that kind of heat. You as well, Joe, but especially you, Jasper, since you do wear the actual, I believe, scale armor.
And a
You
mask, so.
and oh yeah, especially though you guys wear a mask, you're just like, oh my god, it is so warm in here. And it just doesn't get any better going deep in there. The walls of Mole Master feels like they're holding in. But looking around the Zentghetto, I mean, nothing seems to be on fire. There's always the kind of hustle and bustle of the Zentghettos, even at night. There are people kind of roving around, and plenty of them give you guys, side eyes and looks. Some gather things close. You can always kind of get the sense that you're being watched, especially in the ghetto. But nothing's on fire. Freddy, I'll say that your detect magic is still up, looking around. No big pings of magic anywhere. The Zentghetto seems relatively alright. As much as the Zentghetto could be alright. Put in your cultural biases, if you will.
Well, is there anywhere specifically we want to check out in Zentghetto?
Went on walking all the way across town. I don't know where else to go. Maybe you should go ask your friends in the Enclave and in your tower.
Do we want to if anything has happened?
Might not be a bad idea. We also are on good terms with Mixie, right? And she at least had a hand in what was going on in the Zint ghetto, so maybe she knows some folks. Forget which bar she's at. It's not the one you're working at, Rornack. It was the other one that tussling or out front of the Leaning Boot.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds right. Yeah. I mean, if we're in the area, might as well walk over there, right?
Yeah, I wanted to check it out. I could talk to Yob and Dell while you all are doing that, so you don't have to listen to me talk to a tree.
Well, that sounds fascinating. I think I know what to say to a tree, so I'll let you handle that.
As you guys are having this conversation, an individual, kind of a young human male, chances by and says, "Hey, couldn't help but overhear you all. You looking for information? You need a kind hand or maybe a kind ear? Looking at you, well, I know everybody here, so I know you guys ain't from Zent and ain't from the Zen ghetto, so Would you be needing any assistance?
Yeah, Jasper reaches into her coin purse and flicks him a gold coin. Do you know anything about this crazy weather?
Crazy weather it is, crazy weather it is, as he catches the coin and just taps it on the teeth real quick. Yeah. The weather, all that kind of stuff. Crazy warm. If you're really asking anybody. But I've heard, a tale or two of where some people gathering, wear real funky looking robes, said they make everything feel kind of hot when you're walking by it. And I mean, like, I may, just may, know where they congregate at. But memory's looking a little light right as he taps the gold to his teeth again.
uh, she flicks him another one. You've been very generous.
You know what? And my memory is just coming back sharper than ever. I could take you guys to where these kind of individuals congregate. Now that I can remember so well, And you guys seem so
Can
friendly.
I roll an insight on that?
You may indeed. Go ahead and roll an insight.
It's not really my thing, but she's not fucking stupid. Oh, not 20 for 19.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, absolutely lying through his teeth.
Yeah, go ahead, lead the way.
Yeah. Come on, go ahead. Here. And I begins to start leading you into
When he turns back, she turns to the others and shakes her head.
Union continues on. Yeah, so we're just going this way. They got weird cults, and I hear that they, make all sorts of crazy things happen.
Seeing that, under his breath, to the boot then.
I want my fucking gold back. Where does it look like he's taking us right now?
Deeper into Dent Ghetto, he is starting on kind of one of the... They're not so much main roads as well-traveled. A bit on the wider side, but he's heading towards... Looks like to be an alleyway.
Mm.
Hey, you all coming? Or, I mean, thank you for the kindness, but I'd feel so bad if you didn't get something out of it, Now that I'm remembering so clearly. He says with two nice golden coins that he's doing like the Jack Sparrow, Curse of the Black Pearl, flicking it through the fingers, like doing both of them real fast, and then catching them, and then starting over again.
She, Jasper, acts like she's about to turn away and then, bolts at this dude.
You bolt at the dude, and you catch your superior movement speed, and him not prepared for it. You are suddenly right there. And he's like, whoa. Don't be so excited.
She, grabs him by the collar. Listen, I'm perfectly happy to part with 2 gold coins if you tell me what the fuck you and your friends want to ambush us for.
Go ahead and roll an intimidation check.
I am good at that. Supposed to be anyway. Let's see. Pretty good.
16? Alright. Let me... Okay. He goes, okay, hey, listen. Clearly, y'all master, you know exactly this. You look at the real tourist, flashing your gold around. thought we could get gold off of you. This is just the price you pay, all right?
There are other prices that can be paid, Mole Master. You know that, don't you?
Maybe if you've got some nobility on you, maybe, but, you're in the Zen Ghetto, so... Who's in whose territory? I'm just saying. You want the honesty, that's the honest truth about it. I'm just saying. Listen. As he starts to kind of catch himself on his words. You can tell he's already sweating because it's hot, but, like, now he is... It looks like he just dipped him in a bath. That's how much he's just, like, sweating. The speed of the words coming out.
Listen, you look like someone who knows where a member of the Zenitrim would be around here.
Yeah. It's called the Zen Ghetto for a reason. I know. Yeah.
So go ahead and point me in that direction, and you won't pay me back in blood.
Yeah. No problem. Here. So, like, what you're looking for, and he describes, in there a couple different places. Describes kind of the symbol that you're looking for. And what you're looking for is, like, if you go to a place and it's got a sign on it, underneath hanging on the sign, you'll see, like, a Zenitrim symbol. It's all right. Like, if you say that, you if you see one of those, you're in Zenitrim. You're in Zenitrim territory. Okay, I don't work for them. I swears. Like, I plenty other opportunities in here. I'm just saying, if you see that, you're in the right area. Okay, like...
She shoves him, like, back towards... Not, like, violently shoves, but just a light push back away from her. Go and scram.
And it's... You don't even finish half that sentence before he is at a full dash. Boys, we've been made! And you suddenly hear, like... And the sounds of multiple footsteps running down this alleyway.
Gotta say, well done.
Thanks. I know how things work around here. But, I figured the Zenitrim's gonna know best, if anyone knows what's happening. And, she still has her hand on her axe, like, so she was so ready for blood there. But, eventually relaxes and, heads in the direction that he directed.
Yeah, I'll ask who's going along with Jasper during this?
Me.
Me?
I will tag along.
Yeah, I think at this point, the show of force isn't bad.
You continue down into the ghetto, following around kind of one of these main walkways. It's more of the same. Although you see that some of the younger individuals, the Zen, begin giving you guys some space, especially as you head down, and it's not long before you see I have a name for this. Hang on. It's seems to be kind of a small conglomeration of different pieces of wood from different houses. You see that they're all sorts. It's just a real patchwork of stuff. It's kind of a low, short building, not incredibly large. You see different types of wood, and, like, one part of the wall seems to be made out. It's like over the last 100 years, any sort of scrap wall they could find, they've built here, just over and over again. There are weird gaps in different places, like, almost doesn't look, looks like it could be on the verge of collapse. And there's a sign on the front of it that just has a single kind of blade that used to, like, keep it in, says the black blade in front of it, hanging at about, like, hip level It's a really low kind of sign. You'd almost miss it if it wasn't for, an older kind of blade thrust through the top of it.
Looks like I spot. She looks to the others, sees if there's any objection, and walks in.
You walk in, and it is just as equally warm and humid in here as it is on the outside. There's, a small kind of fireplace in the back, which is just more of like just a collection of bricks and a lack of roofing towards there, like just enough to keep the elements out. And there's a kind of a significant amount of smoke in here that shows just kind of the shoddiness of this building. And inside there's a couple of individuals. It is by far, especially like for you, Freddie, this is the seediest place you have ever been to. Like the Leaning Boot was bad. This is worse. You're pretty sure that every patron in here is missing something, whether it is a finger or a leg, someone's missing an eye. It is just the absolute dregs of this place. With the lone bartender, even the bartender has kind of like the big hood on, not showing the face as it moves one glass and then leans up against it, and it's just quiet in here. Just a low, a whispered word here or there. Smoky and dank and humid and painfully quiet.
Sorry, my memory is failing me. Did he say I was looking for anyone in particular, or did he just point me towards the building?
Just point you towards you're looking for the Xenotrim sign, Sybil carved onto the bottom of the sign.
Remember, we met that fella at Eckwer's a while back. He said he was part of the
Yeah. I suppose I'll, Jasper will walk up to the bar and slap 2 silver pieces down and say ale and know where Eckwer's or any of his associates might be.
Who wants to know? As the silver is pulled off the table and an ale is placed on there from kind of these. It's not like a keg literally like takes the mug and dips it into like a big thing of ale and then pulls it out. It's still like wet and dripping as it's put on the bar.
Just some people Irene have to thank for keeping her alive.
The individual pulls back their hood and you see the clean-shaved elven face. Ah, you wearing a different mask this time. And you see the face of it.
Oh. You really know how to blend in, don't you?
That's why they pay me so well. So, seems like this is a business calling. To be fair, I would have expected here. The rest of your party.
Yeah, they really got some lip over here in the Zen Ghetto.
Make us all proud with that kind of moves. Although, should have been able to see when they bit off more than they could chew. You always want at least double numbers if you're going to pull off an ambush like that. 4 on 4?
Y'all are always looking for people. And I figured I could give you an extra set of hands and eyes and ears if you wouldn't mind telling me if you know anything about this bizarre weather we got going on.
No, well, one thing at a time. You asking about becoming part of the family business here, huh?
I've never really been big family. Mine's but it's good to know people and to honestly I respect people.
Now that is something that I had a gold for every time I'd just gotten my first gold right there. Well, alright. if you're looking into family business, I'm not just gonna hop into it, but let's make we can come to an agreement, put a gold coin in it. But as far as the weather's going, this, I have no fucking clue what this is. All right, first talking about, whatever happened in, what? Elmswood. Talking about whole place burned down in a single movement. And then suddenly there's ash in the sky, then it's soot, and then came the heat. And now it's just lingering. I've heard stories about, you hear the fucking stories around, it's a monster this, the gods are mad, it's Bane showing his disapproval, of letting so many of the Flan refugees in. I mean, everybody's got their fucking excuse. But, between the two of us, especially if you want to get involved with the family business, I've heard that, one of the noble ladies, Azora, in charge of Elmswood, I heard that she came into the city for the first time. Made it out of Elmswood, if you would believe it. Or maybe good timing. You know how the Zora and Zoras are. You can never tell. Now, I don't know exactly where she's staying right now, but I do got a name. It's Zora Colkin. And that's Culkin, Culkin. Now, she's going to be over in probably the real ritzy part, so if you got any ties to the real ritzy parts of the city, maybe you could find an audience. I've heard that she's a real different type of noble, not like the Blades, that she actually might have been somebody before all that. But, those are just stories. If you want to look into the heat, looking into maybe what went down in Elmswood, that's where I'd fucking start.
That was fucking helpful. I appreciate it.
Oh, good. Because I'm paying
I'll
it forward.
I know how y'all do business. What do you need from me?
That's a good question. Why don't you start by seeing if you can move up through the ritzy part? You go ahead and you find this Kulk and Zora broad. And you move forward there. You come let me know what you find out, Pay this information back. And then maybe I got some work for you, something that can be done. You do some good work for us, I'll make sure that your pockets are a little heavier. And maybe one of these days you'll say that your family doesn't suck. How about that?
By any chance, this is just kind of out of nowhere, but in her dreams of roguery, did she happen to get an imprint of the thieves can't kind of handshake, perhaps?
Roll me a flat d20.
Okay. That is a 19, or no, 13, sorry.
A 13? I'll say, yeah. You go and you stick your hand out and, Equar sticks their hand out, and as you go and to make that, you slip a finger beneath. He doesn't have just his bare hands out, as many of the Zenitrim do. Typically have their hands covered. You also have your kind of gloves and gauntlets on, and you're able to get a finger underneath the glove during this handshake with your middle finger, and he does the same thing to a surprise, and you shake on it, and he goes, ah. Now that's a question that's worth asking.
You can ask me next time I see you. Thanks for the help.
be seeing you around, Jasper. And go
See,
ahead and roll
Eckler.
insight at the end.
Okay. I am bad at that, so only 6.
Yeah, no, you nod and you Equars, and you head back feeling real good about yourself after that.
Right on.
And
I
as you
guess
walk
she's
back to your
stressful.
party, the last thing he does say is, "Thanks for the drink," as he.
Yeah, she does a wave without looking back. So, I got a bit of a lead. It's something I think I'm gonna need your help with, Freddy.
What?
At the dinner we're gonna have with our family, I'm gonna need you to ask to get in contact with the Zora of Elmswood. Apparently she's still alive. She's gonna be telling them this as we're leaving, like, so that there's not ears on this conversation.
Yeah, because the rest of you, as Jasper returns, roll me a perception check.
Everybody here.
That's 15.
15.
Passive 11.
Passive 11. Investigate passive 11. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
21.
I'll take my own -1. And Joe, what was your perception?
21.
21? Yeah. Freddie, you're kind of lost in your own thoughts. There's been a lot of weight put on your mentally today.
Mm-hmm.
So the stares of these other people, I mean, doesn't bother you a bit. They could not be. You could be in an empty room right now; it would make no difference to you. But Jove and Rory, as this goes by, you've watched the patrons go from incredibly tense, and then a relaxation, and now all eyes are on you guys as Jasper heads back. Every single eye in this. As Jasper kind of leads you, like returns back, you're like, "Oh yeah, are we being stared at? Oh yeah, every single person."
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know what you said, Jasper, but let's get out of here.
Yeah, she wouldn't have started talking if that was what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jasper, you don't notice at this point. Right now, you're just like you're beaming.
Okay.
Yeah, you're feeling great about that. Plus, I know what your passive perception is.
So low.
So it's you're feeling pretty good, and you almost jump into it before Rory and Jove kind of pull you away, and Freddy absentmindedly kind of follow them afterwards. So now you're back onto the streets of the Zent Ghetto, heading back through the main walkway towards the gates to the Zent Ghetto. All right, continue on.
And then yeah, so I don't remember if I told you when I brought up Fort Iron, but Freddie, I got that information from my stepfather. He also was talking about how Elmswood was burned to the ground, and apparently the Zora showed up the other day, and is staying in upper side of town, which is hard to ask anyone except us. But it's fucking weird if I just come out of my coma and start asking about this and that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
just see what you can learn from stepfather, and we'll if you have to ask, or if you think it's a good idea to ask for an actual audience, then do that, I guess.
Okay. Figure it out.
Yeah.
can't really know anything until we get to dinner.
Right. What day is that, Dom? How many days out are we?
You have not been told how many days out. Specifically, Zorgoth said that they would call upon Freddy when it's time for dinner.
Okay. Well, you should probably head back and see if you've received any news about it.
I mean, I could just go back to the house, but I really don't feel like doing that, so they'll have to come and get me elsewhere.
Yeah, at least show up in the daytime. I get pissy if you just show up randomly, unannounced, middle of the evening. Trust me, he's unbearable.
I don't know about you folks, but I'm feeling pretty fucking exhausted. Maybe we call it a night and meet back up whenever we learn a little bit more about this Elmswood thing. It sounds like the whole Zora business more in two of yours wheelhouse, as it were. Maybe Wernak and myself can be looking around for other jobs with the rest of us lowlies around here.
It's not a
Yeah.
bad idea.
Alright, well, we'll get back together in a few days. Just meet up at Doc's Pit.
Yeah, I'll be likely just renting a room from there. If for whatever reason, whenever I get a hold of the Emerald Enclave, they want me to inside the city for any reason, I'll make sure to at least let Rordak know, because it sounds like Jasper, Freddy, it's harder to get a hold of y'all when you're doing your not slaying shit things. So we'll just keep you posted.
Alright.
Alright.
And nice job, everyone, on getting us all out of there. And she actually turns to Rornak and says, "Would you mind helping me with something?"
Yeah. Anything in particular?
Yeah, I sneaking out of my estate, or sneaking into my estate the other day, I think someone heard me, and it might be more difficult for me to get in without getting spotted, and I was wondering if maybe I could leave my adventuring shit with you for now, because I might have more eyes on me than normal going in, and I really just want to be wearing like clothes and have my gold purse on me.
Well, if you feel comfortable with me holding on to those things, then sure, I can keep a watch on it.
Yeah, I trust you. We'll start heading in that direction, and when we find a opportunity, she'll probably yeah, like strip down to like her under armor stuff, so just like the cloth padding and stuff, and like the duster and mask, her armor and weapons and adventuring pack.
Yeah, Rory, you
And
receive
then
Jasper's adventuring gear.
sorry if that's a lot to carry back.
I've gone through more grueling exercise. It's been a long one, but the day's almost done. No worries.
And wouldn't normally trust one person to carry this stuff through Master, but I know you can sprint just as well as I can, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, well, I figure you don't let most people see underneath the mask either, but things have changed, haven't they?
I guess so.
You don't have to give me an explanation. I got your back on this one.
Thank you.
No worries.
And she actually, before they get going, she pulls out her water skin and like dumps it like on her head and like runs her fingers through her hair to try to get out as much of the ash as possible.
Ew. So, as we come to this juncture, I know, Jove, you still want to go to the Shrine of Malar.
Yes.
Freddie, are you heading back to the cloaks, to your dormitory?
Yep.
And
Gotcha.
if you were going to do that, Freddie, there would be one thing that Joe would want to say to Fred before he goes off back to the cloak spot.
Absolutely. We'll say this is the part where you guys are about to break away. So Rory's going to go follow Jasper. He's about to head back to his dormitory. Jove, this is like right outside the Zen ghetto before you guys like split up. So yes, now's the time.
Hey there, Fred. Are you going to be going back to the cloak tower or whatever?
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could maybe do me two favors. One of them I already asked, but I figured, hey, might as well ask again. If there's any books on like speaking Terran or reading Terran or any of that stuff, and could you just check that out for me? I know Yavandel was asking if we had any leads on interpreting some of the stuff off of that golden cuff, if you'll remember when we originally met her. And second, just between you and me, I don't. It's kind of hard to tell if I'm going to be 100% honest, Fred. If you like being a cloak or if you just appreciate the power it brings or what have you, but I don't know anybody else that has a little dragon that comes out of their or whatever, and I would rather you don't tell the cloaks if that's an option. You don't seem to be like the open book type, anyways. But until I have a better handle on what's really going on here, I'd appreciate it if it just kind of stayed between us friends.
Uh, you're allowed to have a rock with you. I'm not going to stop you from carrying a rock.
We'll see. That's the thing. And Jove, like takes his bag kind of like off of his shoulder, and he opens it up and says, "Yeah, there is no more egg. Uh, I noticed it. Well, I was looking for it on our way back, and yeah, the egg is gone, and yeah, no, there's. I don't know how else to explain it, but I feel like Aquila is a part of me now.
Oh, well, I guess don't bring her out, and it won't be a problem. There's no reason for me to tell them. You're not doing anything with it.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know exactly what all your duties are as a cloak, but I appreciate it, Freddie.
Well, I mean, technically, I should bring you in, make you register with the cloak since you do have magic in you. But I really don't care about that. I'm more about just stopping the people that are using magic for their own gains and other people's loss. You got to do that the fair way. Like that's what Momass is about. But there's rules about how you do it.
Damn right there is. Well, we keep this up, and it seems like we'll be facing more and more people that are trying to use magic for their own gain. I'm glad that you're not one of those folks, Freddie. So you enjoy your time studying or doing whatever you do.
So for people that will recognize you, he's just gonna do a little bit of strumming on his and of creation and create a dragon egg sized rock that you can just carry around.
Oh.
So if anybody recognizes that you would normally be carrying a rock around, you are.
Like it, and Jove nods and say, "You know what? This has been kind of my token of home for so long. I was really missing it, even though Aquila had come out of it. So
Yeah,
sweet.
this is an actual rock though, and it weighs as much as a rock. So I don't know if the egg was lighter, but this is a rock.
Well, this time I believe you, Fred.
Okay, and yeah, so just it's not gonna last forever. So basically, take that straight home, so nobody sees it disappear either.
Sounds good. I will do. Thanks, Freddie.
Yeah.
So the group splits off. I'll ask Rory, where are you going for the evening? Before I hop over to Emerald Enclave stuff.
Yeah, I think after Jasper finishes, or after finishing up with Jasper, Rornek would just head back to, he would just head back to his room that he has rented out right now, where he's been working part-time. I definitely do want to take time to go over the box that I found from Milmotter, but I think that probably comes
Oh,
in
we'll
the
get
next
there.
few days.
No,
Yeah, for
we'll
sure.
get there once we go through that. So box at
Yeah.
the Oxpit Tavern. So, all right, we'll break it down. Before we jump forward, let me give you guys some experience and some downtime days.
Nice.
Before we hit any to divvy that up, especially about
Oh, we
it.
do experience in this campaign?
Yeah, I know. Experience and everything. So, for defeating one giant crab, 2 crushing wave reavers, 2 lacedons, 4 mud mephits, Karsev the drowner, a marrow, and 8 cultists. That nets all of you guys. Divide that for 25, and then 225, 8, 625, 825, 1275. There's 32 per. Divided by 4. All right. So, for defeating all of those, this is one of those weird ones that doesn't have any extra experience in it, but split 4 ways. Everybody go ahead and add 400 experience points for a grand total of 1,600 earned through the events.
Uh,
Yeah, what does that put you guys? So I can get a judge
we're
of your...
at 1358 out of 2700
Yep,
for level
that's where I'm
4.
at.
Halfway there.
Whoa,
Wow.
lizard on a chair.
Aw. Fun.
Yes, so you guys all get that, as well as 10 downtime days from that adventure.
Wow.
Nice.
Let's go
I
ahead
need
and...
those.
I need those. You got the scrolls, Rory got the box, Jove's got the shield. For the fun things that you found, like the sextant, its market value is 80 gold pieces. Let's see, so you found the sextant, which was worth 80 gold pieces. The water-resistant paper and ink are market value 24 gold pieces. The waterproof spell case or scroll case, is 10 gold pieces. The amulet that you found in the box is worth another 10 gold pieces as well. So I believe that's all of those. And of course, you can either try to wager to get more for it, or you can take it just at pure market value.
I will haggle.
Your haggle. Go ahead and roll persuasion. And
Persuasion.
what are you selling? Just real quick.
I'm going to be selling both the Silver Sextant and the Griffin Brooch.
Yes, absolutely. Go for it.
Oh! That's a nat 20 for 27.
For
Please.
27.
There we go.
Love that.
Okay. You sell the sextant for 120 gold pieces.
Nice.
And then the Griffin brooch. Hold on.
For 90.
90. Yeah, for 90.
Okay, so 210 total.
Good
So
haggling, good
dope.
haggling.
We'll take that. All right, that's it for me.
Excellent. Are you anyone else? We might as well just sell these off while we're here.
Yeah, I'll sell the amulet, gold piece amulet I found in the 70 gold piece bag of gems.
Yeah. Do you want the bag of gems doesn't need to be sold. That one just transfers over because it's coins and gems. But for the amulet that you found for your ancient treasure roll, yes. Do you want to sell that or haggle for it?
That's a persuasion roll, you said?
Yes, indeed.
Hmm. Fuck it, let's go for it. It was
Go ahead and
all a
roll
gamble in
persuasion.
the first place, so might as well try to maximize it. Not
No.
20 for 23.
Jesus.
All right. If it was it 80 for the amulets?
Yeah.
So it's 120. So go ahead for all that. Add 240 to your gold.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. Wait, is that 240 like as in
For selling the necklace, and that is including like the gems and such that you
I
said, the
see, I
gems, the
see.
coin. So altogether, from just your ancient table rolls alone, you get 240,
Beautiful.
which I believe almost doubles your coin purse.
Nearly. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Rornek has the tuning fork, right?
I do have the the fork weapon to
Fork
sell,
weapon.
as
Yeah,
well
you can sell
as
that.
I also will sell the ring that I found when I did my ancient treasure search as well.
Ah, yes, the Ring of Mask.
Worth
Which
30 GP, it said. Yes.
worth 30. Thank you. So yes, do you want to haggle or just want to sell it as is?
Rornak will sell it as is.
Go ahead and add 80 gold pieces for both. 30 for the ring, 50
Nice.
for the dagger. Or the
Oh, the
fork.
dagger?
The
Oh,
fork, my bad.
or the
They're worth the
Okay,
same.
okay.
So
Gotcha. Thank you.
yeah, go ahead and add that in.
Thank you.
And Jove, do you want to sell anything? Or you just hold on to what you got?
There's a good market for bent pieces, I think.
Would you believe there's not?
Ah, dang. No, so I'm good.
All right, so we'll pick back up. Jove, you begin heading towards the Shrine of Malar. It is an exceptionally, especially in this corner, just kind of away from everything. Besides the torchlight from the South Road Keep, it's incredibly dark here, especially at night. Even with kind of the natural glow that Mole Master has in here, just kind of where the Shrine of Malar is set up. It is at night almost completely shrouded in darkness. You see Yavindel's tree. You see your own tree, and uh, on your own tree there is a singular fruit on there.
Cool.
Yes, you see that your tree it isn't completely. It's not as robust as Yavindel's, but you can already see that it's almost twice your height, even with the singular day that was there. A bit on the thinner side. It's very much like, pushing past sapling size, but the growth that you've seen in it, even in just day of adventuring, is substantial. And so there's these dark, kind of like um, smaller than a kiwi sized fruit that hang on the branch.
Yeah, Jove will pluck one from Yavindel's tree
it you break it open and kind of open the fruit up, and Yavindel's voice comes through and Jove.
Uh, Yavendell, how's it going? I wanted to give you a little bit of an update.
Not fucking good.
Oh, well, then maybe you should go first.
Yeah, so I'm here with Burl Ka. We got called away. A sister of mine over in Hillsfar said that we need to check out Elmswood, and it's fucking bad here, Jove.
Yeah, I was just on the river list not to, over the last couple of days and noticed that there was a plumage of smoke coming out there, and it's hot in Mulmaster right now. What's going on over there?
Elmswood? All of it? It's all fucking gone. I've never seen anything like it. It's like the center of the whole thing is flattened, and everything that's not flattened either turned into cinder or ash. I mean, this thing is still on fire.
Shit.
I'm working with some of the local nature trying to keep it contained from spreading into the rest of the forest around Elmswood, but I've never seen like an explosion like went off here. Elmswood's it's not a refinery. It's not like Fort Iron, or it's not a place. It's typically pretty slow around here. They don't have a lot of infrastructure or like big factories, anything that would cause such a thing. But the whole place reeks of evocation magic.
Well, that definitely tracks. I don't remember whether or not I told you about the little experience I had with my friends here, where we fought some dwarves with their beards on fire, and there was a kind of this odd, almost like living style fire that seemed to almost breathe out and be able to control itself. I'm grasping at straws here, but maybe there's a connection there.
Unfortunately, I think you're right, Jove. We've had some problems, not just the fire itself. Some of it takes forms. Like the smoke itself will coalesce and fight you on shit. And I don't mean like in a fighting against fire and like trying to keep it from spreading. I mean this shit will fucking bite you.
Well, that's shitty.
Yeah, real fucking shitty. Like, I can't stand just fire magic used this way.
Well, we've actually got a little bit of a lead on that. We were poking around here, and it sounds like the Zora Culkin from Elmswood made it out of Elmswood before it all burnt down, and is residing back here in the city. Two of my compatriots are trying to figure out audience with her. I trust their ability to do so. So we're working on some stuff. Anything I could do, folks?
Well, me and Burl Carr are gonna be here for a while trying to make sure that this stays right here. But since you're in here, yeah, I got something for you, Spring Warden. Anything that happened... All right, Jove. Go find this Zora Culkin and find out how the destruction of Elmwood came about. Find out how it happened and who's responsible. That's what I'm tasking you as a Spring Warden of the Emerald Enclave.
Find out how it happened and who's responsible. Yes, ma'am. Do you want to hear my report about...
Yeah, go ahead and spring it on me. And we'll just say, for the sake of expediency, you retell the details of that. And she, nods, listens, hears the whole thing, and there's a heavy silence that kind of, as you finish up retelling the events. It's like, and then the prince dropped us off there, and there's a heavy silence. I think you're right, Jove. There is a conspiracy here. It'd be bad enough if it was just obsidian-toothed badgers or green-skinned elves making big things of water, but Elmswood burning, tunnels being dug underneath Bullmaster, places of great elemental power. all I'd be lying to say if I wasn't worried, Jove.
Appreciate your honesty, because I'm pretty fucking worried too.
Well, being
Well,
worried about it's not going to change anything.
yeah, you're damn right. Yeah, well, only action's going to be doing anything at this point. So I'll go out and do my darndest to figure out how this all happened in Elmswood and who's responsible. And yeah, if it's not for nothing that yeah, now I just want to let you know that you and Burl Ka, I appreciate you believing in me with the not only entering the Emerald Enclave, but the fact that I did have a real dragon egg, because seeing Aquila in the flesh is a good feeling. So I look forward to working more with Burl Ka once things simmer down. If that's a poor choice of words, but
That's a terrible choice of words.
yeah, yeah, no aren't known for their humor, but any hoozle, really do, thanks for that, and I'll get right to work and show you how this Spring Warden does things.
Well, we'll be excited to finally meet Aquila. All right, Spring Warden. Until next time. And the fruit kind of crumbles and immediately goes through the stages of decomposition and by kind of the roots of your tree. As you begin heading back to the Ox Pit Tavern, Aquila, you can kind of hear her voice, and she pulls your attention and says, Thrikwax rivila divi. Translates to what you said earlier. No, are part of.
And Jove is just kind of be like, well, Keela, not entirely sure what that means, but hopefully, you can kind of reveal that as we go. But right now, there's enough going on. I don't think I can handle like a little existential crisis of whether or not you or me is me or I'm you or whatever. So let's take this one serious thing at a time, okay, Keela?
You can feel the kind of just the bim bim, which translates to dum dum.
And Jove starts to get hot for a second about that, but kind of shakes it off and says, "Oh, we've dealt with young animals before. Come on, don't let them."
And then immediately jumps into it. Like as you're thinking this, Aquila Bentley goes up and is like, "I'm not a dumb animal," and it's this fun little like back and forth that you're doing as you are walking towards the Oxpit Tavern. Two outsiders speak outwardly. It looks like this halfling's losing his fucking mind.
Yeah, Joe's gonna have to get better at communicating in his head with Aquila, but that'll come with time.
Yes, it will. All right, we will transfer over to. Let's go for Freddy. Freddy, you return back to the dormitories, going past the stone golems. Allow your passage. It's quiet here at the Tower of Arcane Might, Cloak's Tower. There's a few individuals who are working by illumination, not by candlelight. They don't use candles by any of the scrolls. They use the light cantrip most of the time. But for the most part, it's relatively quiet. Some scribes work by, and it's easy enough for you if you'd like to slip into your dormitory and get some well-needed sleep.
Yeah, at least for now, I kind of just want to get down because
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of energy left in me.
No, you do spot Ellison, who is working away, his just entire hand in ink, and he looks up and he goes to say something, and then you see him look at you, nods, and just kind of goes at you. In fact, The scribes goes over to say something, grabs a wrist really quick, and sits him down next to them. You're not sure entirely what is said between them, but you're able to get by kind of the most crowded area of this and get into your room, shut the door, get into bed, and have some time to think about what a fucking day it was for Freddy Lap.
Yeah. Did we water node in that adventure? I know that we experienced similar magical power, but I don't remember if we actually found it.
The big sphere of perfect water was referred to as the elemental node
Okay.
by Ulatha, which you, since you speak Elven, completely understand. But there wasn't
Right.
like a seed for it, like the fell earth. This seemed to coalesce. It seems to be elemental, yes, in nature, but it's not a seed, so there wasn't anything to come back with, at
Okay.
least as far as you feel at this time.
Right.
And it seemed like the power was immediately starting to fade now that those rituals are no longer being carried out.
Okay.
So, Freddy, you get some well-deserved sleep. We'll flip back over to the other lap. So, Lapis, you head back and you finish giving your items over to Rory a little whiles away from the Goss estates. You get towards the gate, staying away from the kind of the main front gates with the guards over to the sides. You know that there is a place that's with a long dead tree that has been basically cemented on the inside to keep the appearance of things being alive. It looks beautiful, but you know for a fact that the inside is nothing but death in stone. Using that is actually bent part of the gate just enough for somebody your size to get through. And so you get through that bent. Can you roll me a stealth check? But this time without your armor.
Nice. 18?
18, yeah. You notice that many of the guards, they look miserable standing out there in their full armors. They're sweating, constantly trying to wipe away from their eyes, which is then just a gauntlet of just already sweaty metal that's, more than room temperature. You can almost hear the ee of metal on skin as they trying to wipe their eyes from just kind of these oppressive, it's not even a summer heat. Like, it's between, winter and spring heat. And this works to your advantage as you get to the back of your chimney wall, pull out the section, get in there, and pull it right back in. And you enter into the dark confines of your room. And you can see that what appears to be somebody sleeping in your bed, and as soon as you get there. So who starts first? You start first or I start first?
I feel like it's fair to let you start first.
Nope. I'm going to be too angry if I start first. I'm going to let you start first, because if you don't tell me some real shit happened today, then yeah, I'm about to explode on you in a way that would make even Loth a little proud of me.
Well, my companions and I, nearly died in another plane, and I may have revealed myself to my brother in order to, convince him to survive the event, and, we all managed to survive, which was incredibly, and I emphasize this, incredibly awkward. It's so awkward now, and the plus side is I now am no longer going to subject you to this forever. I am truly terribly sorry to put you in the situation that I put you in. It was short-sighted and cruel. And I hope you can forgive me. And she, yeah, she just kind of looks down, ashamed of herself.
Boy, I had a whole thing for this. Thought you're gonna tell me something, like, you went, and then you're gonna throw a bunch of gold on here and be like, isn't it worth it? And I was gonna tell you, no, it's not, and you're fucking dumb. But boy, those were all things that I did not expect to hear. In fact, in some ways, it almost sounded like wisdom. I know it can't be wisdom because you laps don't have any wisdom, but you know what? It was pretty damn close. Okay, I'm going to run through this really, really, really fast and get through the angry part of it so then I can be happy about it at the end. So, here we go. I can't believe you keep putting yourself in so much danger. You should fucking tell your brother. It's about goddamn time you fucking told him. You put me right in front of that thing. I was sweating so much bullets that you're like, your mom almost caught me. Do you know what they would do to Dark Elves if you get caught doing that sort of thing? You know what they would put me right and straight in the middle of the sun? They would let the sun fillet my fucking skin. I have not been in so much danger since I left the Underdark to come work in this fucking shitty town and be not only God, but also probably the closest thing to a friend you have. And I think you really need to think about how you're going to treat your friends if you're going to go out this. But I'm so very happy that you finally told your brother. You do need to move forward on this. And I think I'm done. Okay, I think that's it. I think I got that all out. I thought I'd be happy that you told your brother, but now I just feel like... I feel like things just got more dangerous, to be honest.
Yes, which is why if you don't want to keep helping me with this, I can help you find a job somewhere else, or I can just
Lapis, I'm
pay
your
for
personal
you
aid.
to live.
Listen, I'm your personal aid. If, like, you suddenly choose to not have me around, like, it's not gonna get any better. You know what it's like being a Dark Elf in Mulemaster? I mean, the only place it could be worse is over in Hillsfar. Okay, there's not anywhere else to go after this. Unless I want to either be used as a punching bag or a fodder in some sort of fight pit to be someone else's, I don't know, the House of Pain will take me. But you know nothing good happens in there. For reference, Jasper, you would know this. The House of Pain is a temple dedicated to the Lady of Pain. And it is a place where only the most perverse and taboo dealings happen. It is where rich people who can't just go to a regular brothel pay a lot of money to do awful things. It works as one part brothel, one part church, one part other things. And yes, typically exotic individuals with no money will go and work at the House of Pain. For those of you who are watching who would like to know exactly where that's at, wouldn't you be in for just that sort of thing? Because it's the High House of Herding. The High House of Herding is number 6 on this here map. So if we're looking, we're in the ritzier parts of the area, but number 6 is, oh gosh, donde está? 6 is right there. 6 is right here, close enough to the bay and the rich part of town, but not close enough to either one to be a problem. Kirk is referring to. So, no, there's not a better way to do this. I'm in for the whole thing.
Well, on the plus side, did you, was that mask ever made?
Yeah, they're working on it right now. So, it'll ship in the next couple of days. I got it. Well,
Okay.
Here, they toss and hand you your your original mask. This one's the original. They got enough out of it. Luckily, if
She,
you put it on a mannequin, it doesn't do that weird thing it does. Trust me, I'd already had a whole panic attack about it.
would you like to hold on to it so it makes your job easier? I can live with this weird mirror mask. I kind of like scaring the shit out of people and making them look at their own terrified face.
That's macabre.
It's kind of... Yeah, I guess it is, isn't it? Oh, also, I may have joined, or maybe joining soon, the Xenotrim.
Oh, you were doing so good. You were doing so good. The first half of this, and then you just say dumb stuff, and then it's like you completely undo all the maybe wisdom you had. But you know what? I'm not going to be upset about it because that's just going to make you do it more. Instead, I'll make you upset, and why don't you tell me your brother was kind of cute?
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, you fucking heard me. Listen, your family's got good genes. Your mom's kind of hot. You're kind of hot when you're not doing all fuck
Disgusting.
all. Your brother's kind of hot. And guess what? I don't care how you feel about it. In fact, your expression right now, which I can see but you can't, is almost as good as the gold you're going to give me.
Yes, you have earned your keep, haven't you? Well, how much did I give you last time?
The last time, I believe, you gave me 25.
That feels like a lie, but I'll give you 40.
Good, you know when to pay good help.
Yeah. You deserve it. I deserve much more than that, but I'm trying to save to make sure that if anything ever goes wrong, that I can actually handle it.
Yeah, you know, if you were a normal person, I'd say you should probably start looking for, like, some apartments or something. You're not a normal person, so I don't really know how to help that. But if you make that move, you definitely give me a heads up because I need to be out of here if that's going to go down. Because if you're not here, I think we both know exactly how that's going to go for me.
Right, if I ever intend to leave, I'll make sure you have a head start so they to you with me in that regard.
Oh, no, you're going to give me a room, you know. You're stuck with me, whatever that means.
Okay, well,
Oh, yeah, no,
No
I'm not going to
problem.
get a head start to find their own place on my own. No, you're going to have a place for me. This is what we call paying it forward. Something you pick up.
yes, sir.
Good. Okay, I need to eat because I haven't done any of that because I've been too fucking nervous the whole time. So I'm going to go get some food. Oh, hey, show me. Where's your worst injury right now? Before I get out of
Where's
here.
my...
Yeah, you're
Where's the
always
what?
back. Your worst injury, all right? Where'd you get fucking stabbed? You know, where's the place that it hurts the most so I can get you patched up?
Actually, I'm fine. Like, I have a bruise, but,
Where?
currently she's tippy toppers on HP.
Yeah, where's this bruise? All right, that's what it's internal bleeding.
That's where the blood's supposed to be. She shows him, let's see, I don't know, it was probably just a puncture wound from getting a little, or not a puncture wound, it's a bruise, because I'm mostly healed. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's on
you
her
point
wrist.
out, yeah, somewhere towards the shoulder. Yeah, you don't need any stitches. But I bet this really fucking hurts. And he smacks it and puts some real pressure on it. You make a, ah! There we go.
Asshole. Be
I know
gone
you
from
can't
my
tell.
sight.
You can't see me to begin with. You don't have dark vision.
That's true. I'm blind as a bat in here. Could you light a candle for me before you leave?
Yeah, I got you. And he
Thank
lights a
you.
candle before Kirk makes his exit. And Lapis Jasper, you finally get get into bed. Feeling pretty good about things right now, though there's still plenty on your mind.
Yeah, she stuffs her duster and mask into the secretest secret corner of her room that she has and goes to bed.
Then we will pivot on over to you, Rory. You
Alright.
have all of Jasper's stuff, and you make your way back to the Ox Pit Tavern. It is... There's something about the heat that just does not sit right with you. You know,
This
in
is
the
the exact opposite of what I want or what I like,
exactly.
really.
You're
You know.
used to like the cold dryness of the monastery. Like you're used to, if it ever did get too terribly bad, to be able to go inside and put, at least get underneath, a blanket or anything. At least have your clothes. There's a certain clarity that comes with the cold that you can just
And there's a
think through.
freshness to it. This I feel probably feels like compact and hot. Like it's just
It's
awful.
hot,
You
it's
know.
sweaty, it feels like it's slowing down your mental processes. It feels like the air has too much in it, like you feel like it makes you slower. And it's miserable. And there's no escape from it. It didn't matter when you went inside that house, it doesn't matter if it's on the streets. You've gone from the poorest parts of Mulemaster to the richest part of Mulemaster, now to the middle kind of bay area of Mulemaster. It doesn't matter where you go, it's inescapable. Um, and it's a new sensation for you, at least as the Rory you are now, to experience this kind of weather. And it just makes you feel queasy, sluggish. You understand why the people in this city must be the way they are if this is how it's like.
Yeah, if this is a regular occurrence, like your your attitude and your body just must struggle to hold up. Period.
But nonetheless, you make your way through the streets of Mulemaster. As always, even though it is late, there's always somebody on the roads of Mulemaster. You make your way back, and Crewmeg is, putting kind of as things are starting to close up. He's just about to get the door, get on his way home when he sees you and opens the door up. Hey, back in a single.
Nearly lost my life a couple times over to do it, but a successful business day, to say the
Yeah,
least.
wow, you got a whole set of armor on you. You missing some skin there. I don't remember you having those holes. And then you walk into the light. Swell, fuck, Rory.
It gets like that sometimes. Give
What
me
do
a
you mean
good
it
sleep.
gets like that?
It's complicated. My, give me a day or so to sleep it off and start going down.
Is it like a fucking rash? I mean, it looks like
It's
these
not.
brand new scar. Does it hurt? And he puts like a big kind of meaty finger and pokes at some of your scarring. It makes it worse because you're kind of that light greenish yellow color, and these are bright red. I mean, God, you're an ugly piece of shit. You are not winning any beauty contests.
I'll take ugly piece of shit versus dead piece of shit right now. Seems to be a common sentiment with my party, I feel like. But yeah, no, I'll be okay. I mean, it's not like an open wound, although you're definitely poking my bruises right now. Those do not feel great.
But this one, it pokes again real hard.
Yep,
This one
that's the
specifically.
one. Yep, all of them. Really, all of them. Oh, look, I'll be able to work it all still, I promise. But I'm gonna need a day or so just to get some rest.
Well, luckily for you, with the fucking heat wave that came in, just really just for as hot and sweaty as it is, it really dried up business. So, yeah, we're a little low on right now. So, all right, hand it over. Let's get you squared for what? Like in 3 days?
Yeah, that's perfect. My group and I are supposed to meet up around that time, go over some more business. So, yeah, uh, that sounds good. Let's board me up for that.
Yeah, you still gonna have that little halfling fella Jover something for him?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're gonna be looking for some more work around the place. You come across something?
Some courier came up, maybe pay you some letter, from it's entitled to Joe from whatever the fuck's a gaffer's called.
Huh.
And I got it behind the bar, so when he gets back, he owes me 2 silver, but letters is.
Yeah. Well, if he swings by, obviously, can head over. Otherwise, should be seeing him in about 3 days or so. I can take it then.
And he'll find you. He finds it, but if you're still looking for work, I'm thinking about installing a bulletin board out front. Maybe see what kind of work comes this way, especially if we're gonna be shutting down because of the weather and everything. But you still count on you sending you over to a good old buddy of mine, Fergus Bolt Smelter, right? Helping him, probably be a little bit work on the docks. He's a merchant of sorts, so he should be coming in within the next 10 days. Promised him that I knew some folks who could, offer at least some fresh bodies out on the ship there. Trustworthy, at least enough to do what they're told when they get paid. At least enough not to steal anything with those breakouts. I mean, gave you the key to the whole place, and trust me, I checked. Guys didn't even serve yourself a single drink.
Huh. Interesting. Motivation and priority on that one. But, well, if it's work, I'm certainly interested. So, yeah, if you get the board up and if your friend comes in the next 10 day, I'd be curious to take a look at that.
All right, good, because he's already expecting you, so I kind of preemptively signed you up for it. So as soon as it gets in, I'll send you on that way.
Well, thank you for that. Anything you need from me before the end of the night here, or?
Just try to keep all of your liquids on the inside. You need a drink?
Okay. Uh, yeah, I could probably use something, and then just a long night's sleep.
All right. Well, you're not much one for ale, so should we do something different for you? Maybe some wine.
Yeah, so you caught on, huh? Yeah, whatever you got, it'll work best.
Well, all right.
And
You need something probably a little fortified. I got something here, and he goes and he gets you a glass. It's the thick kind of glass. That's like after seeing some of the super nice finery around the city, it's pretty middling. But inside there's the liquid is this orange color, and it's got this real almondy scent to it. Um, and he gets it out and puts the glass towards you, and it's like, this right here is some Czar. It's
Czar.
it's a sherry wine, real popular over in Waterdeep. It's
Huh.
yeah. I had a buddy explain it to me as in you take this really shitty sparkling white wine you got over there, and you put it in with a bunch of this almond liquor, and then you let that sit for however long, and boom, you get this. I hear it's fucking great. It really fortify you up, though, so you be careful.
Huh. Well, I've certainly never been to Waterdeep, so might as well give it a shot. This might be the closest I'll ever get.
And it's you drink it, and it's very much does have that kind of almondy, like amaretto taste to it, kind of like amaretto with like an orange champagne. It's very um, at this point it's no longer like bubbling, but it's heavier than you were anticipating after you were described what it is, but it's sweet and delightful. And go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Absolutely. Let's see how we do. Rolled real low though. That's a 6.
Ooh, too sweet. Too sweet for you. That hurts your teeth.
Oof. It's an interesting brew there, but that is quite sweet. I mean, I will say this is definitely the most refreshing thing out there in Mulemaster right now, but it's a lot.
God, you are harder than shit to find a drink you like. I swear it doesn't matter what I put in front of you, you hate all of it.
I'm a picky one with that. What can I say? I appreciate you trying to help out, though.
Do what I can. Alright, well, you know which room's yours.
Yep, I'll make myself at home. Thanks again, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you again in the next few days.
Oh, I guarantee it. And you go, Kruma gives you the nod, his kind of real burly human self. He's still got that same kind of light kind of green coloring to him that's kind of, which smacks of orcish descent somewhere along the lines, the real prominent under bottom incisors. But you make it back to your room. You put the drink on there, deposit Jasper's effects into one of the wardrobes that are in the room, and it's left with your thoughts in a box.
Nice. I think I think the way that Rory is probably going to do this, just FYI, how I see it is Rory would likely take out the box again, take one more look over it, and then like place it on like a mat that he would use for like meditation. And he would leave it there while he sleeps. And then like as soon as he wakes up for his morning routine, he would then meditate like in front of the box, like almost kind of focused on it. Like that's how I figure Rory would kind of like handle those events basically.
Rory, you look in the box, and inside you find that it's you see that it appears to be like a knuckle bone, a coin wrapped in like red twine that has the symbol of Ilmater on both sides of it, um, a die that seems to have all the six sides of it are a drop of blood on it, and you can just tell kind of by the irony smell to it. So a number of actual finger bones, that coin, and the dice. Is there a question you have that Rory has while he's meditating, like in his heart?
Um, I think. I think he would, focusing specifically on the box. I think his question would be like, has this been touched by Ilmater? Like, does this box or like do these contents like have his blessing?
And
Is this
Rory, as you sit and you meditate on that, and um, you have the box over to your side as you meditate, and the better part of a half hour goes by as you really just kind of feel out your body, and you look back down, and even though you are listening the whole time, the context of the box have shifted around to where all the knuckle bones point to the coin, and on it standing up is the symbol of Ilmater, just ever slightly rotating in front of you. And when you make eye contact, or when you look down on it, it stops and falls, and it shows you the symbol of Ilmater. Wheel would be your answer.
Which would be yes, then, correct?
Yes.
Or, yeah. Okay. This is now Rory's like most precious keepsake that he has. Period. This goes with Rornak at all times. This will absolutely always be on his person. He's not tip a great material wealth, but this is like now his sacred belonging.
And as you listen, you put the box to your side and begin for sleep. Your dreams are filled with fire and smoke of Ilmater, but the hands are burned. And as you come to consciousness, this is where we're going to end for tonight, guys.
Fun stuff.
Ooh.
Yay.
Nice.
Yes, and Jove, I'm going to assume that you get a room at the Oxpit Tavern. Is that correct?
Yes. Are you? My mic is being so weird. So yes. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then I would assume. Just go ahead and mark off a gold for me. By the time, Jove, you get there after your conversation, Rory, you've already meditated, you're fast asleep, so we'll just cut that right there. So, let us first give thanks to our chats. Also, thank you, Evelyn, for asking such good questions that I was able to respond to during this. So, good night, chat.
Nighty-night.
Good night, chat.
Good night, chat.
So thank you, Evelyn, Ava Costello, Casino Things, Eyelashes, and FTO Payer. We appreciate that you watch the show. Also, of course, Maddie and Bromari. Appreciate that. Always love having an audience. We will be back in another week for the next leg of our adventure, which I feel almost assuredly I could announce as the Embers of Elmwood. So until then, much love, peace in the Middle East.